Right now at 5, Karmelo Anthony's legal team takes the first step toward an appeal. And look at what's next after he was convicted of murder and sentenced to 35 years.
AT&T Stadium has transformed into Dallas Stadium. Get a first look before the first FIFA World Cup match on Sunday.
And hundreds of people are waiting to weigh in on the future of Dallas City Hall, even though an injunction prevents council members from taking a vote right now. But let's start in Collin County, where Karmelo Anthony's legal team just filed a notice of appeal. A jury sentenced him to 35 years in prison for killing Austin Metcalf, but the legal process doesn't stop there. This afternoon, we'll look at what happens next with senior investigative reporter Tanya Iser. Tanya, just to start off, where is Karmelo Anthony being held right now?
Well, at the moment, he is still in the Collin County Jail. He will remain there pending his transfer to a Texas Department of Criminal Justice prison facility. We don't know when exactly that will happen. What officials are telling us is that for security reasons, we won't know that until after it's actually occurred.
I see. The transfer will take place, and then they'll let us know where he's gone. What does his appeal process look like?
Well, appeals process is lengthy. Of course, that notice of appeal has been filed. He has requested that an appellate attorney be appointed for him, and that process will take years. It's not a quick process. We also got a statement from his attorney. He is saying that they gave that official notice and that they believe there are several important issues that for the appellate courts to continue, and also noting that this is a right afforded to every American.
And just a quick question, do they have to specify a specific reason for the appeal, or not at this time?
Not at the moment. That notice of appeal, it's part of the process. You have to file that notice within 30 days,
Okay.
and they have done that.
Okay.
We would expect, obviously, we don't know exactly what will be the issues taken up at appeal. We know there were concerns raised about jury selection, so potentially there could be that. And think of an appeal process as like an audit. You know, they'll be looking at all the transcripts, all the decisions made by the judge, all the decisions made by the defense team. All of that will come into play in an appellate process.
And now that the case is over, I mean, could we hear from any of the jurors in the days to come?
That could happen. I know that I would like to hear what played a role in their decision making, what stood out for them, what made them decide to go with murder versus manslaughter. I'm very interested in that. What made them decide that 35 years was the appropriate sentence? All those things, you always are interested in hearing from the jurors. I know from having interviewed jurors in past cases, often what I thought was important was not what they keyed in on. Yeah,
we make some assumptions about what we think is the landmark testimony, and that's not always the case.
That's correct.
All right, Tanya, thank you so much for putting all that into context. And stay with us for continuing coverage on WFAA News at 6. Jobin Puneker is sitting down one-on-one with the prosecutor in this case. We're also tracking a developing story overseas. President Trump just threatened to bomb Iran again, saying, quote, "We were really close to a deal, but they keep tapping us along. They keep playing us for suckers." U.S. Central Command already struck Iranian assets overnight and disabled an oil tanker as it entered the Gulf of Oman. Iran has launched strikes at U.S. forces in the region, but those missiles were intercepted by Kuwait and Bahrain. The latest back-and-forth barrage started when Iran shot down an Apache helicopter, but both American pilots were safely rescued.
We hit them hard yesterday, and we're going to hit them again hard today. I've been working with Iran for a number of months, and they should sign their deal.
While acknowledging that negotiations have stagnated, the president still believes it's possible to reach a deal. A Qatari delegation is meeting with Iranian negotiators in Tehran tonight to bridge some of those remaining gaps. Here in North Texas, we're counting down to kick off in our first World Cup match. FIFA has transformed Dallas Stadium into a global soccer stage. Just about everything is being converted from what you're used to seeing at a Cowboys game. And Brittany Costello gives us a glimpse of what it'll look like Sunday afternoon.
In just days,
soccer fans from around the world will fill the seats at Dallas Stadium in Arlington.
I think it's going to be a wonderful experience for everyone.
FIFA is adding signage, creating new banners and scoreboards, making the arena less about the Cowboys and more about the world's greatest soccer players, from the suites to the pitch.
We're growing the same grass. We're looking to produce the same conditions indoors that they have outdoors.
Ian Craig, pitch venue manager, says this grass is 4.5 feet above the NFL field. Growing lights are part of an extensive setup to keep the grass alive. They brought in gravel, pipe drainage, sand, and sod. There is a lot of work going into creating the perfect pitch, and it's a huge challenge. The pitch manager says they only have 3 days in between matches to create perfect conditions. They normally have 2 weeks. The field is ready to go. The Players' Tunnel, an area most fans will only dream of seeing, is a work in progress, but will soon be a short walk from team-specific locker rooms.
You know, the venue here have been very, very accommodating. They've really gone above and beyond to try and make sure that we can deliver what we need to deliver.
That goes for food too. Stadium favorites like nachos and hot dogs are on the menu, but so are some soccer-inspired desserts being served up for all 9 games.
This is the most of any venue here at the World Cup.
At Dallas Stadium, I'm Brittany Costello.
For everything you need to know about the tournament, head to WFAA.com/World Cup. We've got team profiles, the best watch parties, fan fest schedules, and transportation tips, and all of it will be updated throughout the World Cup. With some fans starting to arrive for Sunday's match, let's bring in Stacia Wilson for a look at what's happening on the roads.
Yeah, let's go ahead and just start in Arlington. Not looking bad along I-30 at Ballpark Way. Checking out that map, you can expect the traffic issues obviously to go well beyond the Arlington area as we get ready to host the World Cup. This is what we're seeing across the Metroplex. So areas like Frisco, downtown Dallas, Las Colinas, DFW Airport, downtown Fort Worth, all of those areas are going to see an increase in traffic as people arrive and get ready to go to the World Cup. Just checking out what's happening right now. Here's a look at your live traffic data. We do have an accident that's slowing things down pretty close to the Arlington area. It's still in Dallas County, right around Grand Prairie. Here's a live look along I-20 westbound at Carrier Parkway. Just have 1 lane blocked. Good news is this is really the only major accident we're seeing across the Metroplex. Hey, wherever you're headed, as always, be safe.
Well, a last-minute restraining order forced council members to postpone an actual vote on Dallas City Hall. But as Kevin Reese reports, that didn't stop hundreds of people from signing up to speak at today's meeting, hoping to weigh in.
Out of 200 people signed up to speak, Kathy Garrison was in the front row and number 105 and vehemently opposed to abandoning Dallas City Hall.
I don't want to see it given to greedy developers.
Selling to developers is still an option, but not something the council could vote on today.
The remedy is simple: proper notice.
A Dallas judge issuing a temporary restraining order sought by council members Basildua and Blackman, calling a decision now too rushed. So now they have 2 more weeks to consider and study the financial implications.
The special call meeting of the City Council will now go into closed session.
What the council could still vote on are proposals to prepare the iconic building designed by famed architect I.M. Pei, estimates that have ranged as high as $770 million over multiple years.
Everyone believes we can come to a solution that is far less expensive and far more effective.
However, there is still support here for abandoning City Hall, opening it up for development, even if the Dallas Mavericks have decided to go somewhere else.
It's just not a functional, workable building. And so I hope you will set aside that emotion and just make a sound business decision.
An audience full of speakers still waiting to share their opinions with the City Council sometime today. In Dallas, I'm Kevin Reese.